Hi. Today I'm going to share the introduction to my book that led me away from Christianity. I'm also sharing a poem I wrote and put in the book. First, the introduction. With great resolve and an open and honest heart, I set out to discover biblical truths that might have eluded me thus far in my life. I did not care what I found, whether it confirmed my thinking or totally ripped my beliefs to shreds. I was simply in search of truth. Through study and research, prayer and sleepless nights, talking with friends and family members, figuring out the answer to one perplexing question only to realize that it brought up 4 or 5 more conundrums, and writing and rewriting, I have, I believe, come to a deeper understanding of the Bible than I ever thought possible. My journey has been difficult and painful, yet exhilarating and rewarding. The truth I have found has been surprising, even shocking, and totally not what I hoped to find. I believe that in times past, I completely misread and misunderstood the text of the Bible. More than that, I possess no knowledge of the origin of some of the stories contained in the Old and New Testaments, nor had I seriously considered the full ramifications of many of the beliefs to which I adhered. This book is my endeavor to present a comprehensive explanation of my new understanding. Now, let me repeat that. This book is my understanding. I do not imagine myself to have special insight with regard to religion, spirituality, or logic and reason. What follows is simply my own thoughts as to the best meaning I have been able to garner from the biblical manuscript. If the reader gleans something of worth in these pages, I'm glad. If not, I hope he or she will trash this book and move on to something else. When I speak, I'm not necessarily saying this is how it is, as much as I'm saying this is how I see it. My main goal has been to determine the best interpretation of the biblical text. From beginning to end, the Bible is a book about the relationship between Yahweh and his creation. From the light shown in the world in the first chapter of Genesis to the declaration of Christ as the Alpha and Omega in the last chapter of Revelation, Yahweh was building a bond and affiliation with his people. He joined himself to his creation, forming a spiritual man to inhabit from the man of dust that he had fashioned. The purpose of this dissertation is therefore to reveal the biblical story about Yahweh's residence among his people. It's presented through the lives of 2 men called Adam, one a natural man, the other a spiritual man. These 2 men begin and end as one, but the natural one is too weak to stand and must decrease while the spiritual one increases. They eventually meet in a final battle for supremacy in the city of Jerusalem, where the spiritual man humbles himself by reaching out to the natural man in an amazing, selfless, unprecedented act of love, an act that sends Satan reeling in disbelief and shakes both heaven and earth to their core. The narrative centers around a man called Jesus, who, according to the biblical text, came into the world to draw all men to himself. As you can see, I still believed when I wrote this, but that doesn't matter. The point here is to figure out what the text means, the same as I would with any text, be it a treatise or a poem. And speaking of poems, here's the one I wrote. It's called Creation. The womb of darkness covered me, chaotic darkness prevailed. The earthquake shook me violently, on rivers red I set my sail, tossed to and fro among the swell, tossed to and fro. The light was blinding, so I hid, alone and naked in the fray. Among the many shadows slid, not knowing night from day, and there bereft and scared I lay. Oh, where to go? From up above the misty skies grew dark, and then the rain did pour. It cleansed my weepy matted eyes, and there at last in violent swirl I first took notice of the world. But little did I know the land or sea what would be found, and what would I be taught. The sea had tossed me to the ground, and I was safe, or so I thought. I did not know I had been caught, nor knew the foe. The sun and moon and stars above, I guess, must be my source. They bathed me in their cosmic love and gave me life, of course. And now I suffer no remorse. Oh, bless my soul. And down below, both great and small, were many creatures low and high. I so adored them one and all, and learned the who and how and why, and longed to keep them ever nigh, so we could grow. Then I took notice of my hands, my feet, my heart, my eyes. I made and mastered marvelous plans. Oh, the time did fly, and what was born must die. What grief and woe. But wait, 'tis just a passing through another realm of glorious light. Beyond the veil I now can view the final end of hideous night, the blessed land of pure delight. Back home I go. As I read that now, I'm not even sure I understand it. Hopefully it'll make sense as we get into the book. And I forget what I write, and so I have to go back and read it again myself. I'm looking forward to this, actually. Anyway, next week I'll share the first chapter, or at least part of it, depending on how long it is. And we'll get into this. Thank you all. Bye.